21-year-old ATP pro Holger Rune's mother Aneke offers her 2 cents on the Jannik Sinner doping ban while standing firm in his support. Doping scandals are nothing new to tennis, but all hell breaks loose when there's a hint of wrongful accusations. Such might be the case with the Jannik Sinner doping controversy that has shaken the sport. Looking at the fact that WADA ruled out any intentional involvement of the world number 1 in this scandal, calling it a case million miles away from doping, one couldn't help but wonder if Sinner even deserved the ban if he wasn't at fault. That's the question Holger Rune's mother, Aneke Rune, is asking as she weighs in on the latest Clostebol controversy involving the Italian. While the world debates whether anti-doping rules are too strict or not strict enough, Aneke Rune has raised a whole different issue: the terrifying ease with which banned substances can unknowingly enter an athlete's system. And if that's the case, is it fair for players to have their reputations dragged through the mud over something completely out of their control? The world number 4's mother didn't hold back in her take on the situation. If you read a little about Clostebol, you will see how frighteningly easy it can be transferred to other people if it has been used by a third party, she pointed out, translated from French. Basically, imagine shaking hands with someone, touching a doorknob, or even signing autographs for fans. Boom, trace contamination. Sounds crazy? Maybe. But in a sport where 0.000000000001 milligrams of a banned substance can trigger a crisis, it's not so far-fetched. And then there's the issue of how players are expected to avoid this altogether. Aneke's frustration was clear: they can't stay isolated from everyone and eat organic bananas all day for fear of a test showing 0.000000000001 trace of something. She isn't wrong by any stretch, is she? Are we really expecting athletes to live in a bubble just to dodge accidental contamination? Beyond the contamination debate, Aneke also called out the painfully slow doping case investigations. A 3-month or a year turnaround time is too long, she argued. It should not take more than a maximum of X days to confirm whether it is poisoning or not, so that athletes can quickly resume their careers. It's a fair point. Imagine training your whole life, playing by the rules, only to be sidelined indefinitely while officials sift through data and samples. Meanwhile, the world assumes guilt first and asks questions later. Aneke further took issue with how differently each case is handled, adding, most of the criticism from athletes is based on the fact that there are very different guidelines in individual cases when it comes to clear accidents and not intentional doping. She continued, it should not take more than a maximum of X days to confirm whether it is poisoning or not, so that athletes can quickly resume their careers and not sit for a while because some office workers are having fun with some analyses with 0.0000000001 milligrams. Mema Rune is spot on again. There is little to no consistency in the outcome of these cases. While some cases get resolved quickly, others drag on forever, and the system feels like a guessing game of consequences. Iga Swiatek's recent doping ordeal adds another layer to the growing debate surrounding anti-doping regulations. The Polish star tested positive for trimetazidine, TMZ, but the investigation concluded it stemmed from a contaminated, regulated medication, melatonin, which she took for jet lag. Despite having no intention to cheat, she still faced a 1-month suspension and missed 3 tournaments. Talking about the scandal and how it affected her game physically and mentally, Swiatek said, testing revealed historically lowest levels of trimetazidine, a substance I've never heard about before. I don't think I even knew it existed. I have never encountered it, nor did people around me. To top it off, she called it the most difficult experience of her life thus far. I had a strong sense of injustice, Swiatek said, in reference to the 1-month ban she was handed. This bears striking similarities to Jannik Sinner's case, where questions about accidental contamination remain at the forefront. Swiatek's case was resolved in months, yet many athletes, like Simona Halep, have waited far longer for clarity. The inconsistency in case timelines and rulings has fueled frustration among the athletes, their teams and families, and, of course, the fans. The system's unpredictability raises doubts about fairness, leaving players in limbo while their reputations hang in the balance, and now, it goes without saying, doping regulations need a serious update. Right now, it feels like a system where even the innocent could be trapped with no way out. And if that's true, then the sport has a bigger problem on its hands than just one doping case.